Hey, I'm Dave.
And I'm Rowdy.
And welcome back to another episode of the Positive Empowerment Moment.
Yes.
Yep, I misspoke.
That's all right. This is exciting.
It's good to have you all here. This is another episode where we're going to talk about some cognitive distortions.
I like this stuff.
And even though we're not professionals.
Nope, not at all.
Not trying to diagnose or treat anything.
Nope, we're just talking.
Hopefully helpful.
Yep, absolutely.
Couple of cognitive distortions that I want to talk about. The first one is called labeling.
Wow. Yep, we've all done it.
We totally have.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I wrote a social media post about this too. Maybe you've seen it. It was called labeling, and it was. In fact, I'll show it to you right now. It's this. So look, it says mixed nuts on the outside of this canister, but inside there's chocolate candies with the letter M on them. I don't know if I can say that.
I don't know if you can either, but I love chocolate candies. Oh my gosh.
Chocolate candies with a M on top of them.
Yep,
yeah,
they're delicious.
Me too. I could just pound them. Delicious.
I love it.
But clearly, this is not a can of mixed nuts.
Right.
It's been mislabeled. Now, do we mislabel people?
I think all the time. I think we mislabel people constantly. And I think we were talking a little bit about this before. One thing that came up, one example that came up, I believe, was the driving.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
How often does it happen?
All the time. I think even driving to the studio today, I mislabeled like 18 people.
The people who are trying their best.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And I'll give an example if I can. So there's some construction going on the way over to our studio. And I'm driving, right? And there's people that are just passing me. And there's a long line. Everybody's moving over to the one lane, right? And there's a long line of somebody, and somebody drives past me thinking they're going to get in. And my first word was, who is this idiot? Why is this person, they're so stupid, right? I'm labeling this person as stupid. They could be a doctor.
Absolutely.
Right?
Not only that, what if they've got something going on that they really, maybe they're going to miss a flight.
Yep.
Maybe they've got a medical issue.
Yes.
Maybe one of their family members is in the hospital or something like that.
Yeah.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
And yet we label these people based on no information whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
This happens all the time too if you read like comments, like social media comments, especially on news stories.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
All the time.
People say something and you're, what are you, some kind of idiot? Or what do you like this person? What are you, a Democrat? What are you, a Republican?
Yes.
What are you,
All the time, right?
You've got like this little bit of words.
Yeah.
And a couple sentences, and you're like, I know everything there is to know about this person.
Yes. And keyboard warriors, whatever you want to call them. And they comment and they base their whole assumption off this one person. They automatically think that they know this one person just based off of one line or two lines, and they're most of the time they're way off base.
Absolutely.
Right?
But it causes us to act in certain ways.
Yes.
Doesn't it?
Absolutely.
When the person moves in front of you, you get agitated
Gosh.
this guy's an idiot.
Yep.
Therefore, because he's an idiot, I need to be mad at the idiot doing idiotic things.
Yes, and you visualize throat punching them.
That's
but
right.
but yeah, you're right, because you get upset and you're like, oh my gosh. But in reality, you don't know this person.
Yeah.
And they could, like you said before, they could just be trying to get someplace really important. Their wife's in the hospital, their kids are sick, or they need to get home, or they need to make this flight or something like that. So.
Or what if they just made a mistake?
Right.
The funny thing about driving, it's like when we make a mistake when we're driving, we run the red light or we pull out in front of somebody and we realize the error. We're like, sorry, you're waving, I'm so sorry. But if someone pulls out in front of you or runs the stop sign or does whatever, you're like, what, you stupid idiot!
Yeah.
You're a freaking idiot! You get all super mad.
He's got some pent-up rage. Yes, but you are. Yeah, you get so upset.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The person made a mistake.
Right.
And you're just like,
simple mistake.
Sorry, I made a mistake. It's like totally, and you can imagine if it were swapped.
Yep.
You'd be like, I'm so sorry. Please don't be mad at me. And you look at the other person like,
middle fingers are coming up. It's all sorts of weird stuff. My kids will tell you that I am, and I don't agree with this. My kids probably don't know what they're talking about with this, but they will tell you right off the bat, I have some serious road rage, Dave.
Okay.
I've got some serious road rage. I don't think so. I think I'm, to be honest and throwing it out there, I'm labeling people.
Maybe labeling yourself, though, too.
Absolutely.
A road rager.
Yep,
Yeah.
but, Get out of my way.
Yeah, that's right.
That's kind of thing. So
I'll keep that in mind. When I
Yeah.
see Rowdy's car, stay away.
right, get out of the way. But don't you think that happens even? And one other thought that crosses my mind is where labeling and mislabeling people comes in handy was, man, high school. Do you remember back then?
Yeah.
And I think you know, right, even today, I don't think it's changed much. It just enhances it with social media. You know,
Sure.
there's so many ways that kids will hear something. They don't know this person, but they may hear something about this person. Like, you know what? That person's an evil person. I'm gonna post it on social media. This person's evil, and then all of a sudden, that person reads it, and they're like, "Wow, I must be a horrible person."
Yeah. Oh my
Right?
gosh, what a crappy situation that is too.
Yeah.
Because the person maybe that person just made a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
yeah.
and someone's road raging on them on social media.
Yep.
And all of a sudden they're like, whoa. And I mean, when it's the same kind of thing. You make a mistake, you see the other person raging on you in the car.
Yes.
And you feel like crap.
You do. You do. You're
mean,
like, oh man.
It's like you were successful because now I feel like crap.
Yep.
Or you get raging and you get angry and then you flip the bird back or whatever it
Yep.
might be. Both of those situations to me are bad.
I agree.
Right? Because the last thing we need is more aggression back and forth.
Yes.
And when you talk about school, it's the same kind of thing. The last thing we need to do is have people act out aggressively
Yep.
in school. We've seen situations like that can be bad. And you might look at that as the root cause. You might say, well, that's that person's fault.
Yes.
When no. It's
Right.
all the stuff coming from the externalized pressures of these people on social media. Like you
Life.
said. Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
So
Wow.
that's labeling.
Yes.
Right? And another one I want to talk about is jumping to conclusions.
Holy cow. Jumping to conclusions. Tell me what your thoughts are on jumping to conclusions.
So we start to look at it, and maybe we look at past experience in our own lives.
Yes.
And you'll hear this, in my mind it happens a lot, is I'm not even going to try because I know how it's going to turn out.
Dude, I've gone through that constantly. I want to do this certain thing, but I know I'm gonna fail at this. I already know that I'm gonna fail at this, so I'm not even gonna try.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
wow.
Because maybe in the past I tried and I failed, therefore it's going to happen every other time
Yeah.
for eternity.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Now that's one example. You can also look at any situation. You can look, I've dealt with this person before. I know how this is going to turn out, right? I know that I'm going to end up in divorce because that's what it's looking like.
Yes.
And therefore, because I feel like that's how it's going to end, throw up my hands and say, forget it.
Right. And that's funny you bring that up because I was talking to somebody a couple of weeks ago about this very thing, and they're like, I'm never going to get married. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Why not? And they're like, because, and they threw out the statistics. Oh, so this percentage of people end in divorce, all marriages end in divorce at this percentage and stuff like that. So I don't want to be that statistic, so I'm not even gonna go down that road. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of a sad way to live, I think, because you miss out on a lot. And I'm not just saying you miss out on marriage or anything like that, but you miss out on life itself,
Yeah.
right? I'm not gonna try this extreme thing, even though I want to. I'm not gonna try it because it could end this way, or it could not.
Right.
Right.
And that's the key.
Right.
That's the key, is that it may or it may not.
Yeah, we don't know.
The future is not something we have control over.
Right.
We cannot control what happens in the future.
Yeah.
We can control the present, and we can have hope for the future, and we can plan for the future depending on what ways it might go.
Yeah.
But we cannot make the future happen.
It's impossible.
That's right. We can only just do what we can do. All we can do is all we can do.
Yes.
So why is it that if we try something 100 times and it failed 99 times, that 100th time it won't work out?
Wow.
Because the future doesn't just happen.
No,
right?
it doesn't.
The future is built.
Yep. And who was that? Oh my gosh! I can't think of it. But somebody that invented something really great. They said, "Well, you failed 100. You tried this 100 times, but you failed 99 times." And they said, "Well, I just learned how not to do this 99 times, but then I finally figured it out that one time."
I've heard that before. I can't remember who
I
it is
can't remember either, but darn it.
That's just it. And I swear, everyone who's ever invented something awesome,
Yep.
whether it be like the light bulb or whether it be like to me, my favorite, because I'm a total computer geek, is the HTML code and World Wide Web. Tim Berners-Lee, Sir Tim Berners-Lee. Now
Wow.
he's a sir.
Sir.
But anyway, yeah, it's that kind of thing. I think every inventor you ever talk to, everyone who's known for coming up with something,
Yep.
if you were to talk to them, I'm sure they'd be like, dude, I screwed that up like 50 times or 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Yep. So this idea is, the idea is that you never give up,
No, never.
right? You don't say, now for me, can I tell a personal story?
Absolutely.
I have a little bit of a hard time in crowds.
Okay.
Specifically like if it were crowds where I don't have to talk to anyone, great. If I go to a basketball game or whatever, I'm a fan, I'm okay with that. It's like social situations where you're kind of expected to interact with other people.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a little get together where you're trying to get to know a whole bunch of people. You're going to someone else's house. There's a whole bunch of people coming.
Sure.
That's hard.
Get you, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
And so in the past, I've been to a point where I'm just like, oh, okay, I got to leave. And I'll tell my wife, I'll be like, okay, I'll be out in the car because I'm just freaking out
Right.
now, right? If I were to let that define how I acted in the future, I might look at it and say, I know how this is going to turn out. I'm going to end up leaving. I'll end up sitting in the car. I'm going to end up, being the idiot that left. Hey, where's Dave?
Yeah, he's in the car.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's going to happen. And so therefore, I'm not even going to go to these things.
But then you miss out on so many great things that could possibly happen at that event.
That's exactly right. Including maybe I did okay.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't end up in the car. Right? If I say that's how it's going to work out, and therefore I'm not going to try, well, then the situation, there's never a chance to prove it.
I like that. So if you were to say that, okay, so and to me, what I'm as you're talking, I'm thinking, okay, that's a great way to maybe talk about how to overcome that, because if you have that issue and or that situation where you don't feel comfortable talking to people in crowds, but you could either say, I'm not going to go because I know I'm going to end up in the car, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to stay 20 minutes past the time that I feel uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And so you stay that 20 minutes. And then the next time you're like, okay, I feel comfortable up to that 20-minute mark. Now I'm going to stay another 30 minutes past my uncomfortable moment. And then I'm going to go someplace comfortable.
Right. And then celebrate that.
And celebrate it. Absolutely.
Celebrate that.
Yeah.
Be like, you know what? So rather than concentrating on the negative, because we talked about that in the past episode.
Yes.
You could concentrate on the negative, and you could be like, oh my gosh, I totally ended up in the car again.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to celebrating it and saying, you know what? I felt crappy about it. And sure, I ended up in the car, but I stayed another 20 minutes.
I made it longer than I did the time before.
20 minutes!
Yep. I'm getting an ice cream.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like
That sounds
ice cream.
delicious.
That sounds pretty good right now, actually. But yeah, that's fantastic. That's what a way to overcome that, step by step and just move forward.
Absolutely.
Wow, I like that.
A couple more cognitive distortions
Yes.
we talked about today.
Yep.
And a couple of the cognitive restructuring ideas
Yes.
that we talked about.
I like that word.
Yep. If you feel like it's going to fail, you're going to feel like you know the future, first recognize it. It's all about recognizing.
Absolutely.
Because when these cognitive distortions, they come in, it's automatically. They come in there.
Yep.
And so you have to recognize, oh, this is not a proper way of thinking about this. This is a distortion
Yes.
of reality. Then you could start to examine it and say, okay, what can I do to fix it?
I like that.
And that's the key to it. Yep. Acknowledge it.
Yes.
And then figure out a way around it, a workaround.
Yeah.
Cognitive restructuring.
And don't jump to conclusions.
Absolutely.
Don't act like you know how it's going to end.
And don't label people.
And don't label people.
And stop labeling yourself
Yes.
unless it's good, right? We could label ourselves as people who are working hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. I may not be perfect, but I'm a person who's working hard.
Right. I label myself as a handsome bald man all the time.
That's right.
You need to label yourself the same way.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Awesome. But yeah, check us out on social media.
Positive Empower.
Positive Empower, and go ahead and like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, because we're going to do a lot of this stuff and we just really want you guys to be involved. Let us know what you think, good or bad, what we can work on, but maybe some more things that you want us to talk about or kind of touch base on. I think that's important.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And as always, do hit the subscribe and the little bell thing I know on YouTube, because we're going to start doing
A lot of these.
lots more.
Yeah.
We were doing once a week. We decided we better do more.
Yeah. So good luck.
Keep it up.
Yep.
All right, I'm Dave.
And I'm Rowdy. Thanks for coming.